The 2024 NBA offseason, like most offseasons, was dominated by the big names and all of the rumors surrounding where they would go, what trades would happen, and what kind of contracts these big players would sign. While the stars always dominate most of the attention, there are typically a few moves that fly under the radar and then during the season end up paying huge dividends, leaving fans to ask themselves how this came out of nowhere. That brings us to today's video, where we're going to be discussing 4 sneaky home run signings from this past offseason that didn't get that much attention at the time or were just kind of disrespected or disregarded, but are now paying off for their teams in a big way. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I'd also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first signing from the offseason that is proving to sneakily be a home run of a deal is Guerschon Yabusele, signing with the Philadelphia 76ers for 1 year on the minimum, worth about $2 million. Yabusele's basketball journey has had a lot of ups and downs along the way, as he was actually the 16th overall pick by the Boston Celtics back in the 2016 draft, but in 2 years with the team was never able to emerge as any kind of consistent contributor in their rotation, playing almost entirely garbage time, scoring just 2 points per game. After being waived by the Celtics, he went overseas, playing in China, France, and then Spain, where he played for Real Madrid, and really began to rejuvenate his career. And then in the Olympics this past summer, while playing for France, he was one of the tournament's biggest non-NBA standouts, which got him back on NBA radars. The Sixers ended up being the team that took a chance on him, and in a year where not a whole lot has gone right for Philly, Yabusele's emergence has been a rare, consistent positive throughout. What makes Yabusele such a valuable role player at the power forward position is that he has really honed his work on the defensive end, utilizing his incredibly strong frame and agility to competently defend both sides in and out. He's been used as a small ball center in Joel Embiid's absence. He can defend multiple positions, and on offense, his combination of strength in the post, explosiveness around the basket, and flourishing three-point shot has resulted in production of about 10 points per game, making 50% of his shots and 39% of his threes. He's becoming a jack-of-all-trades glue guy for them, and now that they're picking up some steam, he's going to continue playing a big role for them moving forward. The next home run of a signing from the offseason is Russell Westbrook signing with the Denver Nuggets on a 2-year minimum deal worth a little over $3 million per year. I debated about whether this one counts as a quote-unquote sneaky home run signing, because Westbrook is obviously a big name with a highly productive Hall of Fame career, but at this point in his career, it's been established that his best days are far behind him, and honestly, this signing originally came with a lot of question marks and doubt, including by myself, so I did want to include it in today's video to acknowledge that I and many others may have been wrong about this. Early on in the season, things were not looking very good between Russ's ability to mesh with this group, because in theory he's always been a high usage guy who needs the ball a lot to be effective, and he was struggling to find his place in an offense that runs through Nikola Jokic, requiring constant cutting and reliable shooting around him. Early on in the season, that pairing was not producing. As time has gone on though, he's really started to settle into a role as a secondary playmaking threat who can take some of the creation load off of Jokic's shoulders, and over the last few weeks, Russ has been outstanding. He's started 11 games for the team, and the Nuggets are 9-2 in those games. He's still out there working his ass off on both ends at age 36, and as trust between him and his teammates, especially Jokic, has grown, Russ's assist numbers are back looking like the Russ of old, averaging about 8 assists per game over his last 12 games. Of course, Russ will always come with some erratic play and inconsistencies, but his effort is always there, and his creativity has alleviated Jokic a ton, allowing Jokic to play more freely and even be more effective off the ball. The next sneaky home run of a signing from the offseason is Malik Beasley signing with the Detroit Pistons for 1 year worth $6 million. Looking back on things, it's wild that Beasley slipped through the cracks to this degree and couldn't find any better offers than this one. Beasley's career in the NBA has been based around a skill set as a sharpshooter, and while he's found a ton of success in most of the stints that he's had on the teams that he's played on, his time with the Lakers definitely left a sour taste in some people's mouths. When you play in the LA spotlight while also being a teammate of LeBron James, it comes with an unreal amount of pressure, and if you can't play up to the standard they expect of you, the scrutiny will reach levels you won't really experience anywhere else, and unfortunately Beasley was way too inconsistent there. Things like that can create a bad reputation for a player, but Beasley has successfully managed to get out of that environment and bounce back in a big way. Last season he was in Milwaukee and ranked as one of the best volume three-point shooters in the league, knocking down 41% of his shots from deep while taking 7 3-point attempts a night. Yet, when he hit free agency, there really wasn't a whole lot of interest. The Pistons have been desperate for floor spacers and gladly brought him in on a prove-it deal, and proving it is exactly what he's doing so far. The Pistons are one of the league's most improved teams this season, and Beasley being a threat from the outside, averaging 16 points, making 41% of his threes again, this time on 9 attempts per game, is a big reason why, so at the moment, he's one of the best bargains in any rotation. And finally, the last sneaky home run signing made this offseason that we'll be discussing today is Naji Marshall signing with the Dallas Mavericks for 3 years and about $9 million per year. Marshall has flown under the radar for most of his career, spending his first 4 seasons with the New Orleans Pelicans, where he served as a non-flashy defensive stopper off the bench and offensively produced sporadically. His numbers don't necessarily jump off the page at you, and unless you're tuning into Pelicans games regularly, he's probably not someone who was at the forefront of your thoughts very often, but Mavericks felt comfortable allowing Derrick Jones Jr. to leave in free agency because of the fact that they signed Marshall, and after some hesitancy at that decision by the fans at first, Marshall is now quickly becoming a fan favorite. Marshall is absolutely one of the premier defenders in the game out on the perimeter, which has been huge since he was brought in basically to be Derrick Jones Jr.'s replacement on the team, but offensively, he's also been more involved than he ever was in New Orleans and is showing he's capable of a lot more than what he previously showed. He's averaging a career-high 11 points per game this year, shooting 53% from the field, and in the 9 games that Luka Doncic has been out, he's averaging 15 points per game, scoring over 20 points in 5 different games. He brings a level of toughness as an enforcer that gives the team energy on both ends and really sets the tone for what they want to do, and as a newcomer, he is fitting in flawlessly. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about these sneaky signings. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.